Hey, you still there?
Yeah, hey guys.
Okay.
I'm excited to have you
Hey,
guys. So feel free to
uh,
introduce yourselves and, and the name of your band.
Okay, I'm just going to go left to right. Bat,
yeah, I'm that vocalist.
I'm Victor, guitar player.
Jimmy Fowle, drums.
Ned, the bass player.
Awesome. And you guys are in Dying Breeds. Thank you guys for doing this interview. I'm really excited about this. I was checking out. I was just listening to Ed just before I was like, man, this song is so good. So you guys are
Oh, thank you.
yeah, you guys are releasing singles. So I just wanted to know. I mean, are you guys are you gonna make an album soon? What's going on with that?
Should I answer that? Or? Okay,
Anybody?
so we are working on a record. The way we're doing it a single at a time, and then as soon as we have a record's worth of material, then we're going to shop it around for people to, for a label to put it out.
All right, good. That should be awesome. I'm sure you guys are not gonna have any problem finding a label. That's for sure.
Well, thanks.
Well, thank you.
That it's the same philosophy basically that Incendiary Device used. Like they did the same thing. Like they just like did single, and then after a while they found someone to put their record out. So that's what we're going to do the same thing.
No, that's definitely a smart way to do it. So with the Ed song, were you guys watching the Ed Gein show? Is that is that what happened? Or you have like
I'm
a
going to let Bad answer that.
yeah,
No, I wrote those lyrics oh, 10 years ago.
damn.
And what is funny is the fact that in one of Vic's bands, like 30 some years ago, they had a song about Ed Gein. And I didn't even know that, you know? And because I was a big horror buff, my whole life and have tons of books on, serial killers, mass murderers in my collection, and it just came, one day. I was like, oh shit, why don't I write about one of these people? And, he's one of the most famous.
Yeah.
So it was really easy, and through the knowledge of all of it, it was, pretty simple with the lyrics.
No, absolutely. I mean, and I could kind of tell too that you have like an interest in it's kind of I mean, it's not like we're glorifying anything that they did. It's just interesting and it's crazy. I don't know if interesting is the right word, but it's just like it kind of like it you don't know what's going through somebody's mind when they do something like that. You just like what all the things that he did. So it's kind of cool that you guys put in an awesome song, and then I see that you guys are releasing singles, and yeah, I really like the music. And also I saw a video that you guys posted on Instagram about the it was a punk show that you guys went to or you played. Like how are the shows how's the scene over there in your city?
Uh, well, that's a good question. I mean, sometimes it seems really great, and then sometimes it seems like it's not so great. I guess Um, there's a lot of like all these different scenes in New York, right? Like there's the younger people have their scene, and then like there's a couple of different scenes. But we just play with if we get a show, we'll play. Like that show you're talking about, I think was the one we did with Ralph's band, Disassociate.
Okay.
And Tompkins.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Tompkins Square Park.
And we've known Ralph for how long?
Too
I've
Too
known
long.
that guy
long.
over 40
That's too
years.
long.
Yeah, about 40 or so years.
That's about right. Yeah, I think that's exactly right, actually. I
I think I originally met him at Danceteria on a Thursday night. They used to have bands play. I forget exactly what it was called, but I think that's the first time I met him.
What year was that?
Oh my God, 86?
Holy shit.
Yeah,
That's when I met him too.
uh,
86, 85, yeah.
Hmm.
I
Yep.
met him in
Maybe
1990,
84.
the same time I met all these other guys.
I blocked it out.
Yeah, you came to Squirt.
Yeah,
Jimmy was in a band called the Foul Mouthed Elves.
Foul
And
mouth
him and his
elves.
friend Squirt, they were like they weren't even full grown yet. They were like 15. It was wild. These like feral kids from Boston was like going wild in the streets of the Lower East Side. It was insane.
Well, yeah, I
That's
mean,
exactly how it was.
exactly, because like and you guys came from different bands, so I mean that's basically how you got started in 2016. You guys were made up of different bands.
Yeah,
Very good. You've
yeah,
been doing your homework.
I've been trying.
Oh man.
yeah.
Okay.
It was October 19th, 2016. You know, I moved back to New York September 1st, 2016, and I knew I was missing something. Meaning,
We knew it too.
well, you know, a few screws loose or something here and there, but um, I was already hanging out with all my friends, and Vic come to visit, and you know, one day I just called him up and I said, "Do you want to get something going?" And that was October 19th, 2016, and he said, "Sure." And we pretty much started then. And it took us a while to get. We had a few bass players, but Marky from Generation Records um, had just bought into Generation Records, and Javier, another friend of ours, he was having his father was having health issues. So
Oh.
I think Mark came to one, Javier came to another, and then Vic and I had time booked in the studio, and I'm like, we need a fucking bass player. And I was like, who do I know? And I did not want to ask Ned because he was already in Damn Kids, Hammerbrain. And I was just like, you get too many people in too many bands, and
Uh-huh.
it's just a different story. And then I said, fuck it. I called Ned, said, you want to join? And that'd have been January 2017 when he stepped in, on the bass in the studio. And, the three of us, Vic and I and Ned have been together since then with a handful of drummers. Two of them actually died on us.
Oh wow.
We're not
The nerve.
we're not Spinal Tap,
How dare they?
Yeah, how dare they?
Those
Exactly.
bastards.
How dare they do that?
Yeah, and then I think we were playing, was it
They
Shillelagh
wanted to quit. They could
Tavern?
have just said so.
Yeah, Shillelagh Tavern in Astoria, Queens, and our drummer was so fucked up I threw him out of band when we were done playing. And Jimmy Fowle was outside with Keith and a bunch of other our friends. And I said, yeah, he's done. And I looked at Jimmy, I said, hint, we need a drummer.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, and Jimmy and I were in Public Nuisance together for years. So we're keeping it, we've always kept it in the family, except the drummer I had to throw out. We didn't know him, someone referred him to us, and
And what a referral it was.
yeah, I think he was with us a year, and it just, nah, he was not a punk drummer or, whatever, hardcore or whatever. But yeah, it was after that embarrassment, it was time to move on.
But since Jimmy's been in the band, it's really come together, and people have noticed that it has coalesced into a more cohesive unit.
and definitely what
I'm
people
over here
notice
with my
it.
glasses on, using the $10 words.
No, but it makes sense because when you
Mm,
because like you said, you guys knew each other, keeping it in the family. You guys have that chemistry going. Because if you have like a stranger or somebody you don't really know, sometimes it's off. Sometimes
and
it's not there.
that's what happened.
Yeah, we brought back someone from the past that just filled in the gap that,
Yeah.
matched with the personality.
And that's super
We
important.
all, yeah, we all like shared numerous stages together, in different bands. And, it was time to put all of us old fucks together and like, continue doing this.
That's pretty effortless, It's,
Yeah.
with when you know people, as long as you have. We've all played together, either in
Toured
bands or
together.
on at shows together, and you know, it just makes sense. It's pretty
Kinda know,
easy. It's
you
pretty
know what to
easy to
expect
do.
from each other.
Right, we know exactly what to expect from each other. That's correct. So
Definitely.
it's easy to do.
I mean, that's definitely important, especially when you're in a band. You have to have that kind of like it's definitely kind of like a relationship because you kind of have to like know the people and make sure they're not like a piece of shit or something, and just
Yeah.
and you guys have been doing this for a long time, so it's really cool and inspiring. Like especially since a lot of people tend to like after a certain time they just pack it in and move on, but you guys are just still kicking ass, which is really inspiring to see.
Well,
Thanks.
thank
I
you.
mean,
Thank
we
you.
don't know how to do anything else.
That's it.
Some people go bowling, and like this is kind of what we do. Because it's just doing it anyway. So
Right. This is
Yeah.
what we do for recreational activity.
And it's a good one to have. I mean, shit, especially when you guys are been doing it for such a long time. I mean, and recording and putting it all together, it takes time, and all the bands that you guys been a part of for many years. So that's really cool. I mean, have you guys traveled? Have you guys played out of state as I'm sure as well, or are you planning
uh,
to?
a little bit.
We played in Philly.
You did?
Philly, upstate New York. Uh,
We played in
where else?
Ithaca, New York. That's probably the furthest away place that we've played. Even this, it's still New York, but it's really pretty far
Far away.
west.
Close to Canada.
Yeah, that's really far.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's really cool. I mean, and I'm sure
Well,
I'm sure that it's tough too, especially touring and all that stuff. I'm sure, but
Victor has been the one who's done the most traveling with music, but not in our band, in his other bands. He's he's done he's got the most seasoned resume of everybody in the band. He was in like there was one of the first D beat bands was called Hellbent, so he was in that, and then he was in Reagan Youth,
Sacrilege.
Sacrilege. He
oh
was in
wow,
Nausea,
Chaos UK.
holy shit!
AKA. Yeah. Before he was in the Coffin Dagger, now he's in Coffin Dagger still. So he's probably done the most traveling of any of us put together with
I'm
music.
sure with all those bands, I'm sure.
Mhm.
And I'm sure you guys have seen the scene from the beginning to now. Like, what do you takes from the beginning of the scene until now? What do you find something that the difference is, and what do you think about it?
Well, in New York in the early '80s, it was like really small scene. Like everybody kind of knew each other, and so there was this kind of like us versus the outside world kind of thing. So there wasn't all the like the divisions that came later on. And then at some point, all this like straight edge this and skinhead
Jock
that,
core.
and it just got all factioned out as it started to grow. You know, it went from like if you had a show that was like 200 people at it, that was like a huge show. And that just became like an average kind of show at that point. And it just kind of got really out of hand. It got really violent and really stupid, and it just kept subdividing and stuff like that. And then I personally stepped away from it for a while, and it amazes me that it still kind of exists anymore, because it's almost kind of like, well, when I was when I was like 19 years old, if I was into like the stuff that like, my grandparents were into, which is basically kind of what's happening now. You have like kids that are like not even in their 20s yet, and they're listening to this music from like 50 years ago.
That's
It's kind of
true.
a little mind blowing that it's still kind of going like that.
No, it's insane, especially with like because when I played in a band and I played Punk Island, you see all the different kinds of punks out there, and it's like it was really interesting. It's really cool, and I'm like, oh, maybe since it started in New York, maybe it's still going, but now it's been separated. Now there's different things. It's kind of like now with like the whole political state where it's like so much separation. It's like it's so getting separated too. It's just a lot of it's
Well,
interesting.
I just don't understand where everybody came from because it was kind of it all died and everybody like went away. And all of a sudden there was like this huge resurgence out of nowhere, you know? And like
No,
all these kids that weren't even born like yet back then, you know, and it's just kind of like, wow, how are they even into this? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I think it's probably internet, YouTube, stuff like that. Yeah.
could make sense. I mean, there's a lot of I've noticed too pages on Instagram where people would post like older videos of bands that had played a long time ago, and then that's somehow it's just people are finding music that way. It's really interesting, even though back then it was I'm sure it was a lot more work to get music and to listen to new bands, but now it's just like it's in your
Well,
fingertips with
it
the
wasn't, you come across new bands all the time in that because it was an underground kind of network, you know, there was fanzines and all that stuff, which was like kind of like analog internet,
Or you
basically.
just go to the record store, go to
Yeah.
the import
yep.
section, you flip through the
Or just
imports.
bands coming through town and stuff, you know, because it was like close knit and small. You just were all interconnected like that, you know. And so there was actually more of it available back then, I think, than now, you know. Easier to like access it, like the actual physical thing, not
Yes.
you know.
Yes, absolutely. It's definitely harder now to buy import albums too, especially like with all the prices of everything going up too. It's kind of insane.
And plus, it used to be really easy because I mean, you could like get like 500 records pressed up for like $1,000 or something like that,
Can't do that
and
now.
get in a van and play a bunch of gigs and sell them all. Because it was only like 7 inch was like $3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Set.
gas was cheap too,
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
when compared to now.
I know. It kind of I think the kids now are probably jealous a little bit in a way because like, everything was a lot cheaper. I mean, you can make your albums and not spend as much as you do now. Like trying to press an album now is like, selling an arm and a leg. It's
Crazy.
insane.
Well, we played a show at this place Niagara, which used to be A7 a long time ago, and like there was these kids there from like this other band. I don't even remember what that band was called, but they were all kind of like in awe and like fascinated and like, wow, I can't believe Beastie Boys played here and blah blah blah. And they were all kind of like in awe and kind of like couldn't believe they were here and all this kind of stuff. And I kind of felt bad for them because they didn't even know the half of it where it's kind of like back then, like that used to be like an illegal club, basically, and
Oh,
like the shows would start at midnight and go on till like the next morning, and
holy
between bands,
shit.
everybody would be in the park drinking and smoking and whatever, and it's just like underage. Nobody gave a crap. You didn't see a cop at all. Nobody
That's
complained. Nobody said
awesome.
anything, and it hit me like, wow, these kids can't ever experience that because you
Nope.
can't do that anymore. Like
Nope.
if you tried to do a show like that now, people would be going to jail for like child endangerment and all this kind of shit.
That's so true because I mean, I've never been to a show like that where, especially one that started at midnight. I mean, that's kind of interesting, and especially like and cops wouldn't like come in and raid the joint and try to, that's pretty
Well, I mean,
crazy.
that used to be the norm because this was like the underground, the outside of the mainstream. It was like Lower East Side. Nobody wanted to live down there, so it's kind of like the cops didn't even want to be there. So you could just do whatever you wanted, basically. Nobody bothered you,
Oh man, that's pretty
and
awesome.
I mean, you can't do that anymore.
No,
You know?
no. And now it's just like you can't even, especially shows have to stop at a certain time. You have to be a certain age, and it's just crazy. Like the all ages aspect of the shows are kind of like it's tougher. It's tougher to have all ages show.
I
You can't
feel
even play loud anymore.
Really?
I feel bad for the venues because, like, even when they follow all the rules just like they're supposed to, there's always some schmuck that'll get them closed down by complaining and bringing the cops down and Department of Buildings and, like, I'll find some reason to shut them down. And
It's just like the idiots. They move in above a bar that has live music and then start complaining. and foul kind of like, what's the word? That, the
Complaints.
complaints, yeah, complaints about like
Bullshit.
the
It's
live
such
music.
bullshit.
And, like, you're the one to move in there
You moved
above
there.
a
It's your
bar.
choice, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you don't want to experience city life, don't live in a city.
yeah.
Because
Exactly. I mean, it's gonna be
this is
loud.
what it is. This is what it is.
Exactly. I can't believe people would complain when they live in the same building. That's just so stupid. Like, why would you move there?
Yeah, it's like they should have just stayed wherever the fuck they were living before.
Exactly. It's just crazy. But I just want to again say thank you for taking the time to do this. I definitely
Of
want
course.
to. I can't wait to get more of your music to listen to and play in the show. Because anytime you guys send me something, I'm like, I'm gonna play it. It's
Awesome.
just,
Well,
Thank you.
any chance to bitch, moan, and complain is greatly appreciated.
I know, right?
That's what we do best.
No, but I appreciate it. I mean, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I want to give you guys the floor for any, for anything you want to say, promote, any message you want to send out. And I just want you guys to have the floor. So here, take it.
Oh boy.
Well, what was funny was when did we play A7 Stein Breed? Was it like 5 years ago, right after the pandemic?
Well, we played.
Niagara A7. Yeah.
Well, we played one of Drew Stone's New York hardcore. And it was like
Matinees.
we did one of those about a year ago. So
Yeah,
we've
the
done a
first
couple. We've done a couple of those. But yeah, that first one was
right after
before.
the
It was before
pandemic.
the pandemic.
Oh, before.
It was before the pandemic. And
And we walked in there, and Vic says to me that I have not been in this place since the last time I played here in 1982.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God,
well, as far as promoting, we got our we got the singles up on streaming. You know, Apple Music and stuff like that. I want to get them up on Bandcamp too. I need to figure out the codes on that. I gotta update that site. But yeah, so the last one we put up was Step Away. We've also we've got Ed on there, like you said. We got
Yes.
In
In
disguise.
Disguise is up there. We've got
We got Blind Man up.
Blind Man. Yeah, how could I forget Blind Man?
Yeah.
So yeah,
There's a whole bunch of them.
yeah, go on there, and buy them all. Buy all our singles.
And
And
you,
then we'll have them up
exactly.
on Bandcamp soon.
Yeah.
You can get them off of there too.
Buy them and we'll play them for you live.
Sounds good. I mean,
Yeah.
you heard it here first for everybody
That's
that's
right.
listening. But again, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. I really enjoyed
Thank you
this.
so much for having us.
Anytime.
It
Well,
was
and I'll
really
have,
fun talking to you, Izzy. Thank you.
yeah, we'll do this again. All right.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
All right. You guys have a good night.
You
Thanks. Take
too.
care.
Bye
You
now.
too. Bye.